Yeah. 1, 2, 3, wake up, Luke.
It's time to do the pod.
It's time to do the pod. Yes, he was falling asleep on his microphone
The
again.
microphone, because it's padded, is a weirdly good front forehead pillow.
Wait, let's go 3 seconds where it just
snap. We should do a podcast and just call it nap time.
Nap
it's a whole
time.
episode of us. And you hear us like... Speaking of,
isn't that just ASMR? Oh no!
You were talking.
I've just taken off my makeup on the microphone.
You were talking in your sleep last night.
No, I wasn't.
Because you had the dog on the bed.
Oh, my puppy, yeah.
Diego was sleeping in between us. By the way, he kicked me off the bed at like 7 a.m. Did you notice this?
I know, but he does that.
I could not get back onto the bed.
Did he do the karate kick?
Yeah, so we were like fighting like teenagers for the doona. I like got up to piss, and then when I got back from the piss, he just walked over and sat right where I was sitting. So then I just pick him up and move him over, and he went, and I was like, "Fuck you, dude!" And I moved him over towards you, and then you were like, "Oh, Diego," and I was just like, "Don't fucking, he's being a dick. He knows what he's doing."
I'm pretty sure I was like, "Hiya, boy, hi, puppy," and I just like bringing him in closer.
Yeah,
and you're like, "That little
but
asshole."
When I got to bed, you were already asleep last night.
Yeah,
because I was catching up on my Fortnite quest.
I don't remember you even getting into the bed.
Yeah, well, Diego does, because he also tried to steal my spot then.
He tried to sit on your spot.
But I get into bed and I was like laying there for a bit, and then as I was just about to get to sleep, you just go, "Oh, we're going. Nope. No, we're going." And then you just went, "Oh, fuck." And I was like, "What are you even dreaming about?"
I had, you know, I've realized if I have chocolate before I go to bed, then for some reason my brain is like alert, and like I will literally like hallucinate and shit at night if I have chocolate before I go to sleep.
You're like a child.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't give her too much chocolate before bed. She gets a bit loopy.
She's a bit hyper.
She gets high on Freddos.
It's literally me before the podcast. I was just like snacking on those TNT lollies to get me like pumped up. Get me sugar high. Woo! Ready to go.
But anyway, I've got my nap in. We're back in the studio. For audio listeners, they probably haven't been able to tell.
Yeah, happy dance.
Woohoo. So we got 4 days off between a tour breaks. That's why I was getting a little nap in before the pod.
Quick little nap.
And then we're off to Adelaide tomorrow.
Yep.
We're doing
10-hour
6 shows.
Drive? Oh, yes.
10-hour drive. Then 1 show in Mount Gambier on the way home. We love to see it.
Yeah.
There's still tickets to it's already gone by the time this has come out. You've missed it. You're too late.
Yeah.
If you're alone, you can come over the weekend. There's single seats left.
Oh, is there single seats left?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
If you have 0 friends and you live in Adelaide,
come to the show.
6 shows you can come to, because people don't buy. This is the problem with the seating maps. Now that we're doing all these bigger venues with like theaters, they do allocated seating.
Yeah.
And no one, it is immature. I look at the seating maps and there's mature towns and immature towns. Now, Narre Warren, quite a mature, progressive place. Not scared to sit next to a stranger.
Yeah.
Warragul, 40 seats left, all spread around by themselves.
I'm surprised they allowed that to happen.
Everyone's like cuties. Like, people can choose where they want to sit, and no one wants to sit next to a stranger.
Oh,
and do you know how much money I lose? Because people don't want to get cooties.
That's so bullshit. But also me in a movie cinema, I'm like, I put the seat.
I also do the same shit when I'm booking tickets. Also, I don't want to sit next to someone from Warragul, so.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Got him.
Unnecessary slander. Woohoo.
Yes.
Never even been there. That's not true. I have. I used to run cross country there. In a paddock full of cow poo.
Wow. He's upgraded to a theatre.
In Lardner Park.
Lardner?
That's where they have like Beyond the Valley and all those music festivals. It's in a paddock full of poos.
I've never been there before.
It's just in a paddock full of poos.
Yeah, right.
Imagine poo and grass.
Oh, so yeah, poo and grass.
So you can mentally be there.
I can, yeah.
I can
imagine that. Poo and grass? Yeah.
I went out to our backyard and took a shit.
Yeah.
And then times that.
What Diego did actually.
Oh, have you cleaned it up?
I have not. Oh,
I was going to do the lawns today.
I know, and
And you were just going to let me just rip through it with the lawn so it splattered all over me?
Well, it would be a good story for the podcast, wouldn't it? A bit of a funny thing to happen. I mean, I got pissed on the other day.
Episode 20,
so,
Luke ate dog shit.
I would click on that episode. Okay, I would click on that episode. Yeah, I took Diego to the vet the other day because he's injured his leg, and he has to get these shots once a week for arthritis. And I took him in, and I was like holding him on the table, and poor thing, terrified, of course, because it's needles. He's getting needles stuck in him. And then all of a sudden, he like starts spazzing out. And I was like, what's happening? And then I feel this warm substance, and he's just pissing all over me. And I was like, this is what it feels like to be a mother.
Yeah. I tried to describe that, stuffed it up last night. My mum went, oh, how did Meg go at the vet? And I went, yeah, no, she pissed all over him.
No.
and then I didn't catch what I said, and everyone at the table went, oh, Meg? You mean Diego pissed on Meg? And I was like, what did I say?
That is not something you want to get mixed up, dude. That's the worst.
See you in the vet, like, get on the floor. Sit. Mama needs to leak.
Mama needs to leak.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh yes, we got to spin the wheel.
We need to spin this wheel.
Luke,
I'm praying for turn up.
Turn up.
Adelaide is an underrated turn up city, man.
It is.
People poo Adelaide. Me included, by the way. I've been guilty of that in the past.
I love Adelaide. Always have.
I'm coming round.
Well,
Adelaide.
not all of Adelaide, but parts of Adelaide I freaking love. Some parts don't love.
What I don't like is when places. So this put me off Adelaide for like 2 years early on in my career. So one of the first times I went to Adelaide, I said on stage, "What up, Radelaide?" and popped a shaka, and they all looked at me confused. And
what do you
then
mean? Everyone, they surely know what Radelaide is.
No, that's the thing. I found out on stage that they don't know that the rest of the country calls them Radelaide behind their backs.
There's a state by state in joke that we've excluded an entire state from.
Well, it feels like now it's behind their back.
Radelaide, and they're like doop, just completely oblivious to the fact that the rest of the country is saying this behind their back.
Wait till Brisbane find out about Bris Vegas. It's going to blow their minds.
That's a good name, though.
Most of them did know, but then they got... Like, a few people were genuinely confused. Like, the guy who I spoke to was like, what'd you say, Matt? And I was like, Radelaide. And he goes, why? And I had to explain to them that it's sarcastic because nothing radical ever happens in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd was like, oh, we had no idea. I got that vibe. And anyway, then they kind of got weird and butthurt over it.
Yeah.
And just because those like 150 people at that comedy club didn't get around that, I hate when places aren't self-deprecating towards themselves.
Yeah.
It's un-Australian.
I mean, we do it here in Melbourne. Some of us, me. Okay, maybe it's just me that...
No, Melbourne's very pretentious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it.
But everyone... Isn't that what... But don't we like let them know that? Or is it just us that let them know that? That we're pretentious? That we suck as a state?
Well, yeah, most people think we're pretentious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on their side with that, though.
Of course.
How does
You're
Adelaide
self-aware.
not? Yeah, but how does Adelaide not understand that? Because they're like, we've got Berensburg, so
What's that?
Is it Berriesburg? The berry farm.
Oh, yeah, the German place near Harndorf.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's quite nice though.
I like that one.
Yeah, that was the best strawberry milkshake I've ever had.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you talking about?
I don't know. Sorry, I was just saying.
I was just saying that, yeah, it bothers me when places get annoyed when you shit on them.
Yeah.
Like, and it happened in Tamworth recently. Like, some guy literally was like, I got 45 minutes into my show in Tamworth, and some guy was like, talk about the guitar. And I was like, what? And he goes, I said, talk about the guitar. Carl Barron talked about the guitar. And I was like, man, I've got hair. It's not the same. I'm not Carl Barron, right?
Yeah.
And then I talked about the guitar. I was like, oh, what do you want me to say about it?
Yeah.
And I'll admit, my reply was immature. He was heckling in an annoying way. And I was like,
What did you say?
I said, it's gold and it's big and it would look great lodged up your asshole. And now that erupted the crowd.
That's pretty good.
They had a great time. What is weird though is then I kind of thought, okay, that's gotten a laugh, so I'll do some more like stuff about Tamworth. Dude, they got so offended. I don't think they realized that it's shit.
Did you get worse from there? Like, or is that the worst that you said?
No, like I think they stared at me once after a joke. I did a joke about the dictionary and they clearly didn't get it.
They didn't know the Oxford Dictionary.
They didn't know what the Oxford Dictionary was. Or they didn't find it funny. There was a lot of mouths wide open staring at me after that one.
Yeah.
And then I made some joke like, oh, you just heard the word dick and giggled. Then they didn't laugh again. And then I was like, oh, sorry, do you want me to just get up here and do Lee Kernaghan covers and then leave? And then
they were like, yeah.
And then, literally one guy was like, that would actually be awesome. If Luke got up there and was like, the boys from the bush and my back and down.
Dude.
We get high when the
That'd
sun
be
goes
awesome.
down.
I know this is completely off topic as well, but now for some reason, every time I say yeah in my mind, it's now done in the voice of the LA.
LA Knight. Yeah. He's a wrestler.
LA Knight. Yeah.
Every time I say yeah or like yes in my mind, for some reason, I really feel like going, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, just to conclude, I'm back on board with Adelaide now because since then, I noticed they've become a little more self-deprecating, or at least my audiences have. I will admit, I largely base my perspective of a place on the Maccas, the Airbnb that we specifically stay in, and the audience at the show, because it's pretty much all I see.
Yeah.
So I want to turn up. That's my whole point.
All right,
let's go. All right, it's spinning. Please be a turn up, man. Oh, come on, man. Let's go.
It's a turn up. Good job, everyone.
Love to see it.
It went for a long time. I think I'm used to the other one now being on the phone where it just quickly like does it.
We should have done a custom wheel this weekend that just said Adelaide or Radelaide, and it landed on Radelaide.
Let's go.
But yeah, speaking of WWE, you brought that up for LA. Yeah. Let's hope he wins Money in the Bank this weekend. The tour group is getting weirdly obsessed with WWE.
Yeah.
In Newcastle, in one night, we watched 2 Royal Rumbles. Well, you watched 3. Actually, you went to bed at the end of one because you already watched 2.
You'd already watched them. You were watching reruns.
Yeah, we were watching reruns on YouTube of like the 2000 Royal Rumble, 2008 one slams, and then the 2020 one where The Edge comes back after a decade in retirement. Just walks in, on this day, I see clearly, fireworks go off.
That's it. It's pretty cool.
My favorite part in wrestling entrances is when it cuts to like the sweaty 30-year-old American dudes with like chin strap beards and posters just like, fuck yeah, in the crowd. And it's like, dude, you know they still live with their mum.
They absolutely still live with their mum so that they can afford to go to those wrestling matches. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Being like 38 and making a sign that says like, go John Cena is wild. But I love it. And Tyler and Blake are like super obsessed with it. Reese is into it because like you were just into it growing up, right?
Yeah, I'm not really like into like the new stuff, but more of just like the back in the day sort of stuff.
Yeah,
back in the day, back in the old days of it, just the things that they would do and say were just wild.
Yeah,
like they're things that you could not get away with now, but they're so funny.
Dude, they used to do matches like the classic one is when Rey Mysterio and is it Eddie Guerrero fight over the custody of Rey Mysterio's son over Dominic.
Either Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio, Taz will climb that ladder. We'll reach that briefcase, which includes the custody papers of 8-year-old Dominic.
Who's now a wrestler.
I'm going to be your new daddy.
Because I'm your new daddy now, listen.
And they do a ladder match where the custody papers are hanging above the wrestling ring and they both have to climb up the ladder to get the custody papers while Dominic is just motorboating the mum on the side of the ring. It's the most bizarre footage. For 15 minutes, they force the kid and the mum to just hug at the side of the ring. And this chick has, let's just be completely candid, bazonka massive titties.
Massive. And so his head, and she's like literally got both hands on his head, just pushing him in.
Dude.
There was one I was telling you about the other night, the buried alive matches.
That's the funniest shit in the world.
What's that?
They used to have like a dirt grave dug by the ring, and to win the match, you had to bury the opponent alive.
It was like if you lose, you die.
They would have a tractor there to so you would get, the person would you would throw him in the grave, get in the tractor and pour the dirt over
Yeah,
it.
and didn't the Undertaker get buried alive?
Yeah.
And then
he came back like a couple months later.
Yeah, and then a couple months.
He's the Undertaker.
Yeah, and then he comes out of a grave a couple months later, and then the commentator's like, "The Undertaker's back. He's back from being buried alive."
Dude, I need to watch that
Dude.
one. I haven't seen that yet. That's so funny.
And there was still a kid in my grade 6 class that I remember one day cried because someone tried to tell him it wasn't real.
Oh yeah, we've all had a kid like that.
I know, but imagine watching a buried alive match and being like, well, yeah,
He's dead.
they killed
We're
the
watching
Undertaker on TV.
And then the most shocking factor would be when he comes back alive and they're like, holy shit, I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, he's a zombie now.
Yeah, they legit just think zombies are real.
Yeah.
Because, by default, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
It's genuinely amazing. And I've gotten into it kind of recently, definitely because of TikTok. I'm not going to lie. It always just pops up on my feed. So I get sucked in while I'm shitting. I end up just watching Royal Rumbles from 2009. And it'll be I'll find myself I'm just scrolling on this page. I'm like, fuck, where's part 9 of the 2003 Royal Rumble? And I'm like, why don't I just watch this on YouTube?
I have said this on the Patreon before, but I need to be careful with wrestling because I got super into it when I was probably 6 or 7 years old with my brother, really, really into it and then you start trying to recreate the wrestling moves and stuff. And so we would have this, we called it the animal round because we'd do it on the bed and Tom's bed sheets were different animals were on it. You've actually got the same bed sheet.
Yeah.
And then the first time I broke my nose was because Tom literally launched me into the wall. My brother threw me into the wall and I broke my nose. And just for 10 years after that, I still get them now even.
Just
so
randomly
I would just bleed.
bleed.
And I'm supposed to have nasal surgery as well. Found out that they're compressed because of it.
Was that a thing that they did in the WWE? They did animal?
I think
you just made that up because of the doona.
Yeah, I think we created that round. But they would have different rounds. So it would be this round or this round, this round. And so we had the animal round. Is it?
I was just saying, I'm looking at a list of the most ridiculous match types they've ever done in the WWE. There are some which are crazy. So one of them, they did a Gulf of Mexico match.
What's that mean?
You have to chuck your opponent in the Gulf of Mexico to win.
No!
What, off a cliff?
It's in off a bay sort of thing.
That's so funny.
A hog pen match. You fight your opponent in a hog pen, which is just full of shit and yeah.
Dude, the 90s was wild.
The classic bra and panties match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew they used to do that.
Yeah.
They used to do that. And they were called the Divas up until way too recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought that an institution full of roided up men was kind of sexist?
Whoa, what?
Dude,
what's the
Vince
one?
McMahon at one point says the
Shut up,
N-word.
bitch.
Yeah, but he also no, that's The Rock.
That's The Rock.
That's The Rock. Shut up, bitch.
Shut up,
Then
bitch.
there's the dumpster match, which is throw your opponent in a dumpster and lock the thing to win.
Jesus.
You locked them in a bin. Oh
Yeah.
my God. What were you saying, Luke?
Oh, that Vince McMahon, who's the CEO.
Yeah.
He's the real life CEO and also the on-camera CEO.
Yeah.
He writes himself into it.
Yeah.
At one point says to an African-American wrestler, the N-word.
How
And-
long ago was this?
Man,
Surely
not
the
long
90s.
enough. I think late 90s, early 2000s. It's wild.
That's so insane.
It was 2006.
Oh my God. That's so much worse.
Not that it Yeah, God. Anyway, that's
It's
awful.
it's never gonna be good, but it's it's insane that it was that late. Fuck.
Wrestling is just a wild thing. But now I've gotten into it, because of TikTok. And also one of the main reasons, straight up, because Logan Paul's in it. I love it.
Yeah.
He is so good at it. He's like a natural. I know you've seen all the clips and stuff probably around.
It comes up on my TikTok as well.
Now he's fighting in Money in the Bank Sunday morning, 4:30 a.m.
So excited.
There are 6 people in Adelaide that are going to set their alarms to watch that shit. 100%.
Absolutely. We should try and put we'll put a thing up on Instagram as well to remind people. Then we can all be sitting up and watching
it's a pay-per-view, so you don't have to, I think you got to pay for it. But yeah. It's, I'm excited. And an LA Night. The one that goes, LA Night, yeah, which is the funniest catchphrase I've ever heard. A stadium full of, he just goes, night and LA Night, and the whole crowd goes, yeah.
With everybody saying, yeah.
But not in a way that makes you sound all there. To properly do the catchphrase, you have to go, yeah. Anyway.
And now Blake Pavey has been making his girlfriend get into it as well.
LA Night. Yeah.
But I've got one more crazy match type. They did this in Japan in their wrestling thing over there. They did a piranha and barbed wire death match.
So you throw them in over barbed wire?
No, so the ropes around the ring are all barbed wire.
Yeah.
And then there's like a tank in the middle of the ring with water and piranhas in it. And to win, you have to chuck the opponent in the piranha.
Are they real piranhas?
Yeah.
Yeah, but real piranhas don't actually bite if there's no blood. They're not, it's not like the made up like.
Still feels like a bit jackassy.
They wouldn't have a nip though. Yeah.
Speaking of, once I watched Johnny Knoxville do a no holds bar match, which is where nothing's off limits. And at one point, so he's fighting this guy in the ring, and they have all these like prop guns. Like he set up this big mouse trap, and his finishing move is Johnny Knoxville pins a guy in a comically sized mouse trap. And then at one point in the thing, Wee Man runs out from under the ring and starts attacking one of the guys with the chair. But it's definitely real.
It's absolutely real, by the way.
It's
I will fight anyone who says that it's not real.
Yeah.
And then I'll bury them alive.
Anyway, so that's been a new obsession. What do we have to talk about? I've got a story from the tour that I forgot to tell weeks ago. I can't believe I didn't tell this.
Yeah, go for it.
I was late to the show.
Oh, no, you were late to the stage.
To the stage.
All right. It wasn't just like, I rocked up to the show late. We can't start without him. You literally didn't come out when they said your name on stage.
Yeah, Alex was opening. He was like, welcome to the stage. The man you've come to see. The main event. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Kidgel.
And everyone's like, yeah!
And at that point in time.
And Alex was like, where is he?
Well, if it had been a movie, it would have cut to me sprinting down a hallway on the second floor and then finger blasting the button of an elevator. Just like I felt like I was on a date in high school at the cinemas. Just
in high school.
I was just going ham on that button, right? And then I could hear because
wait. Say the layout of the room first, because this is very different to what we usually have.
This is how it happened. So it was in Goulburn.
Yeah.
We're in a theater. Usually I just wait in kind of the wings or usually the green rooms, there's someone around, but also you can hear the openers set usually through the speakers. Most of the good venues have speakers running through the venue, so I can hear the show and what's going on without having to watch it as the opener's on, right? But some venues don't, some venues do. This venue did have that, so I could hear. And usually Alex finished on this certain bit, right? And I know his end joke. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's his joke. He talks about deep throating, right? And whenever he starts talking about the gag joke, I go, oh, cool, that's when his second last joke is about clowns. And
this is you saying it all in just patches is making it so intriguing.
He was up to the joke about clowns right at the start. Yeah. Both of those go for about a minute and a half. So I'm like, I've got 3 minutes still till I've about to go on stage, or at least 2 minutes. So I was like, oh, I'll quickly duck, go pee. And then there was a toilet downstairs apparently, which I didn't know about. But then the other reason why I went up was because everyone was like, I had a mug side of stage, and Vibu and I think it was Jack were like, why do you have a mug? Get rid of the mug. You're not supposed to have drinks side of stage, because some of the theaters say like no food and drink.
Which is completely valid because these stages are like massive and they have, so the wiring is done underneath the stage.
Yeah.
So if you drop water on the stage.
But it was an empty mug.
Oh, that's
right. But I just.
Why did you bring an empty mug?
Because I was drinking it.
Oh, okay.
I was
so
drinking
there was
water, and then I finished the mug, and then I was just kind of like, I put it on the surface, and they're like, you can't just leave the mug here. And I was like, all right, well, I'm about to go on stage. And they're like, get rid of the mug. And I was like, all right. And then I looked at where
they didn't take it up. They're like, look, we don't do anything while you're about to go on stage, but you have to take the fucking mug
I think
upstairs.
they more just meant like, don't put it there, like go put it out somewhere else. I don't think they meant go. But then this venue, weirdly, the green room was on a second story, and the only way to get there was an elevator. So I like go into the elevator on the way up, and then he's still doing the clown bit. And then I put the mug down. I'm not really rushing. I even like start grazing on the fruit platter. I'm like, oh, I'll grab myself some more cantaloupe, you know, bit of watermelon, strawberries.
Having a munch.
You know, I was a bit peckish before I went on. And then he gets a really big laugh on the end of this clown joke. And I was like, damn, like that joke, it usually goes well, but not a crazy amount. And then I just hear him go, because I hear Alex go, all right, guys, I think I'll leave it there. And I was like, do not leave it there.
No leaving,
I start
no leaving.
bolting back. And then, because there's no way to go down the stairs, or I didn't know where the fire escape was.
Yeah, right.
So then I start just going, bing, 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 bing. But someone's, in the time I've done that, has already summoned the elevator down.
No, so
I
you had
think-
to wait for it to go back up.
Well, I think they realized that he might have been ending soon. So then Vibu was going to come up and tell me. So he summoned it down when I was up. So then we had to wait till the elevator came up. It then goes bing. I get out the bottom. Vibu's waiting outside, and I'm like, and I just run past him. By this point, he's probably introduced me I think he introduced me when I was getting into the elevator. So then you have to do the thing where you smash closed doors.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
It doesn't help the situation either. You're just like, I have nothing else to do in this moment.
there was
but
literally
panic.
elevator music going do 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 do. Do, 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 do. And it's the slowest elevator of all time. Then it goes bing, and then I sprint
It's
out
like an
again.
action movie.
Yeah, you know, in the action movie when the fight scene goes really quiet
Yeah.
for comedic relief.
Yeah.
And then it just goes bing, and then it all starts happening again. It felt like that. I sprinted past Vibu, and then I just ran through the wings, and I just made eye contact with people. So I started going, "Where the fuck were you?" And then
Everything's in slow motion to you in this
Yeah.
as well. That's so funny.
And then there's footage of it. I sprint onto the stage. Like Reese must have seen it from backstage. I enter the stage at a full blown sprint. Like I've got my hands
Please.
at my ears, just like
Please
Usain
tell
Bolt.
me we have this footage. Oh my God, I need this.
And then I get to the mic and I go, I was so tired I couldn't even talk. I was like, "G'day, Goldman, just a sec."
And you forgot your mug upstairs for water, so you're like, what the fuck?
And poor Alex has to just be like, stand there for 15 seconds and go, where the fuck is he? Like he's never not missed it. And it's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
And then I felt really bad. I had to explain to the audience what happened.
What is up, Goldman? Oh man, usually he has another bit. I was taking a piss. What the fuck? Dude, there's an elevator in the back. Oh man, it's the most fucked thing. Anyway, I hear it go, who's ready for Luke Kidgel? I'm in the elevator like, close button, close button. Oh man, dude, I felt like I was like 15 at the cinemas, man. I just, the heart attack I just had there. And there's like, no, so you guys clapped and I'm just standing there like, dude.
It was a weird start to the show. Very unprofessional.
Very unprofessional. Luckily, it's a comedy show. And it doesn't really fucking matter, does
I would
it?
love to know.
It doesn't really matter.
I would love to know if anyone who was in that show listens to this pod. Did you think I just not showed up or had left? Like I'd eloped to the gig? Like it's like, welcome to stage, Luke Kidgel, and it's just like,
He's out of the building.
and that bit where the clap would have died down and people would have been like, where is he?
Oh my God.
I wanted to know if people thought I was shitting or had just completely left Goulburn and like was down the freeway
He's out.
somewhere.
He's gone. He's walked out of
I
the
just
building.
quit comedy, and that's when I decided to do it.
I wonder what would have happened if you had have taken that extra 15 seconds longer though, because like I've had literal like nightmares about this. I don't know if you guys have as well, where there's like the opening act leaves, so there's no opening act, and you're like, I don't have a full show, and so someone has to get on stage, and one of us has to get on stage, and obviously being the nightmare, I'm the one who has to jump on stage, but I don't have any bits because I'm not a comedian. So then they're like, do comedy, and you just have to like go, yeah, so it's one time this thing happened.
I mean, this nightmare is very specific to you. I don't think other people will have that nightmare.
No,
Maybe
public
Reese.
speaking. No,
Not at all.
no, public speaking is.
Reese would just flat up be like, I'm not fucking getting up there.
There's been times when you've asked me to intro the show and I've been like, fuck no.
Reese won't
true.
even do like,
That's true.
he won't even do like the voice of God, like welcome to the stage.
Voice of God, are we calling it the voice of God?
Oh, I called that because that's
so
what
funny.
that's what Steve-O called it, and I thought that was a really fun way of saying it. But then I noticed
is
a lot
God.
of venues have said that to me.
What, the
like
voice of
when I
God?
go, we used to use like when we rock up to venues, we go, oh, is there a backstage mic to introduce the show?
Yeah.
And then one of the sound techs was like, oh yeah, the voice of God microphone, and I was like, that's what
Oh,
Steve-O
so it's
said.
an actual term. that
Maybe it's
people
an
use.
industry term for it.
Maybe it's yeah.
Because you can't see the person, but it's coming
Yeah,
through
it
the
makes,
speakers.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense as to why, but
And I always say, welcome my disciples.
yeah. So
that's kinda why.
that's why the voice of God makes sense if you're God. Anyway,
But yeah, I got there in the end, didn't miss the show, and it actually went quite well after that.
I can't believe
The
that
crowd was very forgiving.
you forgot to tell that story.
The tour was a blur.
I know. That's how hectic it was. We couldn't even remember the things that were happening on tour to us.
I only thought about it last night as I was trying to get to sleep. I was like, God, I really shouldn't have peed. That's the kind of shit you think about 3 weeks later at 2 a.m.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was another funny thing the other night in Canberra, but it was more of a technical thing. You with the when you went on the mic early.
That wasn't my fault.
Oh, I heard that from outside.
That's not my
I
fault.
was selling merch and I hear, hey, up, it's never mind, it's not my time, so
This
you
is
can
not the
wait a
show."
bit longer. And then
That's-
like everyone was like, that was weird suspense. Like we've
Blaming
never had that before.
100% on Mitch here. He's not, I would say, not as tour experienced. Let's just say
Yeah.
that. As the rest, right? I reckon he got rattled. I reckon he got rattled by the silence. So what? Sometimes you do get rattled backstage. So Reese came up to me and was like, hey, we're starting the show in 2 minutes. And he walks out, then turns on the cameras and then goes to the back of the room to fade down the music.
Yeah.
And usually my cue is the house lights fading and the music fading.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it goes silent, I jump on the mic backstage and go, what up, Canberra, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does. Mitch got rattled when the song just happened to end and fade down. And then some of the songs, and we need to ditch it from the playlist, fucking MGMT Time to Pretend has the slowest fade up of all time.
And it's super quiet to really loud
it
as
takes
well.
30 seconds to get to the do 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 do
Yeah.
do of the song.
Yeah.
And then the first half that's just that do 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 do.
We've done that multiple times as well on that song.
And you've only left, I reckon it's only been about 45 seconds since you've said 2 minutes. And then
Yeah,
Mitch
not
goes-
even, I don't think.
Mitch
Because I
goes-
was at one of the cameras when it happened.
Mitch goes, now. And I'm like, not now. He said 2 minutes. I'm like, I think the song's just ending. He goes, and he peeks out the door and he goes, no, now. And I still hold. And I go, no. And by the way, people can probably hear this whisper conversation
They
happening
could.
in the
I
microphone.
could hear it once again from the outside. And I'm like, oh, is this a bit? I was
can
like,
hear
are
us
they
just
doing a
going,
bit?
Now. And they're going, no, not fucking now.
Yeah. You were literally like, no, not now, no. And everyone's like, what's this? What's happening? And I was like, maybe he's added something to the show. And then you go, Canberra. And then they go, no. And you're like, no, never mind. You can wait a little bit longer.
The
And
pressure
everyone's
got
like,
to him, man, because he
"What?"
gave me these eyes. He just looked at me and goes, do it now. And I would just went, what is up, Canberra? And then I think the song then, because you weren't even at the thing, the song then started to go, do, 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 do. And then I went, alrighty, this is actually not the start of the show. I've peaked too early. And then I think I tried to make some stupid premature ejaculation joke. I was like, not something I'm that unfamiliar with. All right.
Only you would make a joke like that.
I was like, I fucked up the start of the
Here's
show.
the
I've told the
tension.
crowd that I am terrible at having sex. And then I waited another 30 seconds and then went, all right, camera, this is actually the start of the show.
Classic Luke Kitchell moment.
Look, there's always hiccups. When you do so many shows,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
10% of them, hey, there's gonna be issues.
Also makes it entertaining though. And it did set up the show well. Like people were already laughing like prior to that happening.
Yeah, I think
they
people
were like looser. They were like, oh, it's not as like as serious.
Yeah, I think people watch my videos and then when I do royally fuck up, they go, that's on brand.
Yeah. The thing that I can't get over though is the mass amount of people who film just the worst parts of the show and then upload them.
I get tagged in videos of people filming me plug the merch. And
But a quarter of it.
And I'm just like,
Like
yeah.
not the whole conversation.
And also I've been plugging the podcast on stage just like to, because I'm like, I performed like almost 1,000 people every night now, which is I'm very grateful for.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, wait, I did the numbers. I was like, wait, if I performed to like 80,000 people this year, that's a lot of people who I could potentially tell about our podcast.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've literally just been plugging it. But then some people will upload on the stories where I'm like, oh, also, I have a podcast with my girlfriend Meg. It's called Luke and Meg, and one called BLT. And then they'll just post that and be like, haha, great night of laughs. And then it's like 45 seconds of me plugging the merch. And I'm just like, this does not reflect the quality of the show.
Mainly because it's not really the show, is it? It's just a plug. I had this idea as well, and it could be stupid and everything, but I was thinking of getting stickers made for the Luke and Meg podcast, but upon request. It has to be like they've seen the podcast and we tell them a code word or something, and if they say that, then they can get a sticker,
Yeah.
or like a signed sticker.
Or you have to come to the desk with 3 marshmallows in your mouth and go, chubby bunny, to get the sticker. Or something like that. And that way it's like an even value exchange. You get a giggle out of it and they get a sticker.
That's gonna look like the saddest thing to anyone else in the world. So imagine having zero context to this conversation, right? You see a grown man approach the merchandise stand with like a mouthful of marshmallows, going, "Yummy bunny," and me going, "Oh, good job, buddy." I'm giving him a sticker.
Yeah, but the saddest part about it won't be the actual exchange. The saddest part will be him, 2 people back in the line, pulling out the marshmallows and going, and then putting them in the side of his mouth and then going, all right, okay, I'm next. That'd be good.
Oh my God.
All right, or we could just get him to say like something else.
I was going to get them to say something else, but also you get 2 stickers if you do the Chubby Bunny challenge.
But we haven't made this. Don't promise things. You're not going to make this thing. Now we're going to release this. Someone's going to come up to you in Adelaide with marshmallows. You're not going to have any stickers to give them. Unless you can be bothered to go get stickers printed on the weekend at Officeworks in Adelaide, then please do not approach me because she won't have any.
Oh, okay, fine.
So you want to do something like to out yourself as a podcast listener at the show?
Yeah.
I like that.
Out and also, I don't know, have a
little treat.
Have a special little bonding moment with the people,
But also just a little treat as a thank you. I don't know if sticker's the right one. I personally wouldn't want a sticker.
What would you got? But like, I don't know, what else would you
Well, it
say?
has to be cheap.
It has to be cheap.
'Cause it's a
It really
free item.
does. It's a free
A
item.
pencil? That's useful.
Nah,
We
because
could
who
get
uses
custom
pencil? When was the
pencils.
last time that you used a pencil?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
What about a pen? I've used a pen recently.
Pens are expensive. They're more expensive.
No, they're not.
They are. They actually
Custom
are.
pens?
The ink, yeah. The custom pens
No,
are
we
more
can get
expensive.
a trash one. It won't work, but it'll be a nice memento.
It won't work.
What about we give away?
Is that not just a stick?
We give away inkless pens.
Inkless pens.
Inkless pens.
That I don't think exists, sir.
What about erasers? Because that's like the pencil you don't use.
That's
them.
like, yeah, why would, if you don't use a pencil, then you don't use an eraser, do
Luke
you?
and Meg white out.
White out? But you don't use it. We keep going back
I feel
and
like
forth
station.
here,
There's something
you
in
know?
the realm of stationery.
It has to be. I was thinking like, I mean, maybe a key ring, but
Well,
that would
what's-
be more expensive, wouldn't it?
What's
I
something
could-
to do with our
I could
show?
put in a bit of cash.
Maybe suggest, if people want to suggest something.
Yeah.
I like that.
Suggest something that's affordable for my bank account because it will be coming directly out of mine.
Yeah. Or I'm happy to chip in.
You're
as
happy to chip
50%
in?
of the pod of my personal funds.
Okay, well, guys, you're in for a
Guys,
treat.
the tour's going pretty well. I could probably buy a sticker. Yeah.
Please.
Maybe even like 20.
20 stickers.
Or how many? Are we going to cap it at 200 or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how many people listen to the pod and then also come to the shows. I guess it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's actually quite a few.
Damn, we have to buy
By
less
the way, you guys are freaking lovely. Like everyone who's come up, because often people will come up to me when I'm like midline in like the mad rush of things. So they'll either like come early to be like, hey, by the way, love the podcast. And then they'll be like, can't wait for a turn up or something like that. And I'll be like, that's awesome. That's so lovely. Or they'll literally wait until the very end and be like, hey, I've just been waiting for the last 50 minutes. Thank you so much. I love the podcast. And I'm like,
that's so lovely.
that is so nice.
Now they'll all have marshmallows in their mouths.
I love the podcast.
I mean, look, if I saw someone with a mouth full of marshmallows at the show, I'd be like a Luke and Meg fan for sure.
For sure. Or just really hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had my friends over we always have like either games nights or just like catch up nights because I'm always on tour and they often like are studying elsewhere. And so I had them over and we were sharing the tea and the goss and everything. And then I was like, man, I wish that we had more time to like talk and like so that we could get more of this like gossip from each other because I don't like being involved in the gossip, but I like hearing about it. Like, I don't know, it's interesting. Guys don't really talk about it that much. Hence why like when I'm on tour, majority of the year I'm with guys and we don't get to like gossip or there's no drama or like no
There
tea
is
and
drama.
stuff. Yeah, but it's boring drama. It's like boy
Dude, in
drama.
the 2020 Royal Rumble, Randy Orton got thrown out of the ring by
Sorry.
the Edge and no one saw that
I'm
coming.
so sorry. I completely forgot about that.
What
You're
is
right.
drama to you?
No, that is the most drama.
Oh, there was heaps of drama. Tyler split his pants showing me a pedigree, which is a wrestling move the other night in Canberra.
No.
Yeah, he's ripped
Split his pants.
tailored jeans.
No, not the tailored ones.
After the Canberra show, I was like,
these the new ones?
He was like, oh, then Thingo hit. We're talking about wrestling again, and he's like, Thingo hit whatever with the pedigree. It was a Triple H move, and then he like does the. I was like, what move is that? And he like shows me like how you hit it someone with a pedigree, and then it's like a move where you have to squat, and then as he squatted, we just hear, and then Tom Armstrong who's behind him goes, oh.
Did he split it seam to seam? Yeah. Straight down the ass or straight down the gooch?
Straight down the ass.
Oh, that
Ass
is
and gooch.
That's the worst.
So that was dramatic.
That is very dramatic. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh my God, I saw my employee's
God.
hole. That is drama.
Well, there was that and the time where you split. Actually, you've done this multiple times. You split multiple pants doing this, where you used to do like the lunge in your set. And there was one time when you were on stage and I swear to God, I heard it from the audience and I started laughing and everyone was looking at me like, why is she laughing? But I just knew that you had split the pants because there was already a hole
Did I?
there. Yeah, I could hear it. It was
don't
like,
think I would have
it made
realised.
like a, and I was like, was that his pants? And no one else like clocked it. No. And then sure enough, I was like, Luke, can I have a look? I was like, weird question. Can I just have a look like at your pants? And you were like, what do you mean? I'm like, just spread them.
That's not uncommon for after the show Meg to ask to inspect my gooch anyway. So, you know.
It is. What? No.
Anyway, so
Okay.
with your friends.
Yeah, so I was with my friends and one of my friends was like, I'm surprised you haven't got onto this Facebook group. It's like a Facebook group in Australia. So it's like got over 200K members or something. So there's a lot. And it's called Tea Time.
These girl Facebook groups that exist are wild. Isn't there like ones just called like Melbourne Gal Pals and like shit like that?
Melbourne. So I thought, because I'm on Melbourne Gal Pals, but it's not like that maybe once in a blue moon there's some like tea, but I don't ever get to see it because I'm not constantly
I've
looking at
spoken
it.
to other girls about this, and they're like, all those groups are just 14, 15-year-old girls asking about their period.
Yes. Yes, it literally
That's
is.
the whole thing.
Melbourne Girl Palace is
Where
like,
it's like, I like a boy, but he doesn't like me back. What do I do?
that's why this one is more.
It's literally why we don't have a podcast email as well.
well, we do. No one messages in.
Yeah, we never say it. That's why.
Yeah. That's
What
it.
is the podcast email?
It's lukeandmegpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, so if you want to ask us about your period or like
Yeah.
anything like that, if you're not a part of one of these Facebook groups, please do send correspondence into the show. We always forget to tell people to.
Yeah. If you got like, if you're having issues and you'd like them to not be resolved, but to be talked about.
Anything, a question, if it's a suggestion of what we could give you for free after the shows.
Yep.
All right, don't say $100. We're not going to do that. All right.
I don't have the cash to do that.
Yep. But yeah, cool.
Okay, yeah. So my friend was like, get onto this group. It's called Tea Time. And like every day, girls will just send in like shit that's happening. And as soon as I got on it, I shit you not, this is within 24 hours these things have come through. Some of them you're like, okay, you're very young or like that's fucking weird or that's shit. But like every so often you can tell by the likes that are on the bottom of it because it's like it'll just skyrocket. Some of them are so good.
Can I have
funny.
a little guess on the genre of things that I think people would be putting in this?
It's everything.
Yeah, but I think real common ones for some reason would be like legitimate, like some people just full on trauma dumping.
Yes.
In there?
Yeah,
Like,
there's
just
a lot
like,
of trauma dumping, which I
stuff
won't talk about
Yeah, no,
that stuff.
I assume it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like just a lot of domestic and family problems that people just dump in this group
Yeah.
to strangers.
Some of it's horrible.
I reckon there'd be a subgenre of girls getting things lodged up their assholes.
I haven't seen anything like that
That
yet.
shocks
but
me.
Maybe. Why? Girls don't really, it's more men that do that.
Oh, yeah, but I just know like people who work at hospitals and then like
It's usually the guys that come up. Isn't
Sure,
it?
but like the nurses and doctors I've spoken to have always been like, yeah, but they come in after it's been up there for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Because they're embarrassed
They're
about
embarrassed
it.
to get it there.
And
yeah.
I
Then it gets
always
sucked
think
up harder. Yeah.
before heading to the hospital, people might throw it out in a forum on from Facebook like, what do I do?
There have been not things like that, but there have been things
And
in
then
the
the other
realm
things will
of
be
that.
like sex or relationship based.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is relationship based. Like scandals that are happening. Like my boyfriend broke up with me and now I'm pregnant and like
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like there's like actually quite a bit of that.
And then I reckon there'd be a few girls who maybe don't understand the vibe of the
Yeah,
thing and then
there's-
just go, does anyone have any Netflix recommendations?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like it's not tea time. They're like it's not tea, but such and such, and it's like the group chat is literally called
Yes.
tea time. Like, give me tea.
I remember like back in the day, we used to be like, all the guys used to be part of groups like blokes in their cream and shit like that. Like
What's that? What the fuck?
blokes in their milk and blokes in their creams. Like where
What
you
does
just
that
like
mean?
post pictures of you eating ice cream and stuff like that.
Oh,
And-
I was on the HSP one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like, and it was like, if you didn't post a picture of you eating a cream, like,
and
then everyone would like, and if you didn't sign anything by saying cream on, you'd be like booted.
yeah,
Those
and
rules.
also the that potato one where it was like best chips, best the potato cake, scallops, everything like
I
that.
don't know. I didn't really dabble in that landscape too much,
It's
but
like-
I knew of it. I think I was part of the cream one, maybe.
I'm looking at like Facebook groups now. There's still a bunch of those going. Like there's blokes in their bet slips,
Okay,
Yeah, the
yeah.
betting
blokes
ones are
in their
huge.
toasties,
Toasties.
blokes in their poos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's all good chat. Like that's pretty much what my group chat usually is. It's like about sandwiches, poos, and
yeah.
a lot of my friends talk about betting as well.
And there's just like
Supercoach.
then there's just a main one, Melbourne blokes.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
All right.
That would be like the Melbourne gal pals. Anyway, I'm going to share. So these are all anonymous and they are on tea time. So if you did want to get into the group chat, you just send in a thing and they will like have to approve you and stuff. This one's hilarious tea. And it's very good. I decided to have a sauna and swim after my gym session. Sitting in there maybe 2 minutes pass and the door flings open by a staff member who proceeds to say, "Excuse me, whoever it is that's naked in here, unfortunately, you're going to have to put some clothes on." Me and my mate look around like, fuck, we have walked into a sauna with someone naked in here, dead. like dead face. But to see some old man's, walked into a sauna, naked in here. Oh, about to see, about to see some old man's wang. No one answers. And she continues to say, there's kids around. You need to leave and put some clothes on. I've sat there and just gone, excuse me, who are you talking to? Mind you, it's steamy as fuck. She goes, I saw you get out of the pool. You need to put clothes on. There's kids in this pool. I've shown her my swimmers, and then she goes on to say, I'm so sorry. I thought you were a naked man who got out of the pool with no clothes on, and closes the door. This bitch called me a man in my full piece swimsuit. I cannot.
What color was her swimsuit? Was it like skin colored?
It looks like a normal swimsuit. I don't know. It's
That's
so
rude.
weird.
That is rude.
It was so rogue. And then, so there's like funny ones like that where they'll put it in. They'll be like, the fuck. I've just realized as well, it's very hard for me to read because I don't have my glasses and I'm also dyslexic. So if something comes out wrong, yeah, I'll get you to read the next one. This one's really funny.
All right. This one is anonymous. My life is literally crazy. Has anyone else had sex with a ghost? Not so much a ghost, just something you can't see but can feel. Let's just say they, him, it has never had trouble finding that sweet spot like some guys I've been with. I literally haven't dated in a year because I'm so satisfied all the time. Sometimes the throb radiates to my stomach, which hurts for a little but goes away eventually. Anyway, I'm having a good time, but how crazy is that? I don't know. I could write a book on my absolutely whack life, lol. Anyone else?
And everyone in the comments was like, what the fuck, bitch? That's not relatable.
This chick is giving, I'm not like the other girls.
I'm quirky.
I have sex with ghosts. Do
I
you?
I have a ghost boyfriend who flicks my clit when I sleep. How weird is that?
I think she should go to the doctor.
I think you're just weirdly horny.
Yeah.
She's just describing getting horny.
Watch a documentary about death and like kind of even things out a little bit. Just to get mellow.
Maybe she has, Luke. Maybe that's where she got it.
That's true. It is
That's
a ghost.
that is a whole other level. All right, now this one is an issue.
Do people in the comments of these, by the way, just like imagine the difference between the girls one and the guys one is the girls one go, sorry babe, this never happened to me, but good luck. Like they're just nice. I feel like if a dude posted that in Melbourne Blokes or whatever it is, like Sydney Boys, they would just be like, you're a fucking, like, dude, the amount of abuse that would just get hurled around.
Nah, it's not. Look, like they do it in the best way, but like,
Dude,
yeah,
guys
like,
wouldn't even have the confidence to post to a bunch of other guys, hey guys, I think I've been getting fucked by a ghost. Is this
anyone get
happen to
jacked
anyone?
off by a ghost? Anyone?
Me? All right, sick.
All right, this one's an SOS. So the T is, I've met such a sweet, perfect guy, but I've developed the ick. Is there any possible way to un-ick the ick? And she says, he's handsome, super sweet, does unexpected nice gestures like sending flowers to my work. He's my type, works hard, etc. But he sends the most cringy selfies ever, and it has cringed me out so hard. Like he sends pics of him doing bizarre winky faces and sends videos of him talking and blowing kisses and making the duck face. And I don't know if I can come back from this. Help, SOS. And then she said, tell me your stories about un-icking the icks. And then in the edit, she's gone, I took most of your advice and mentioned it to him. It stopped for about 3 hours, but lo and behold, I just got a talking video from him saying, hey honey, hope you had a great day at work. Mondays suck. Wish I could snuggle up to you, which sounds okay, but then he finished the video by doing a face similar to the
Ew.
and then she
Are these
cried.
people real? Do people do this?
But then she said, man is so handsome but so cringe.
This is the problem when guys get hot. It should be illegal for men to realize that they're attractive.
I know.
Because it doesn't matter how good looking you are really. you can't be then turn into like, haha.
No. I'm so clingy.
It's like those dudes that used to do the we used to talk about. I used to talk about on the podcast stuff, like the little e-boys on right at the beginning of TikTok. They would do the videos where like they wink and like, you know how Addison Rae does the little nose thing, like
Yeah, like and they'll bite their lip or they'll like.
But that to me feels very performative for like a widespread audience.
A platform.
But it's still weird and cringe and I hate it. But at least if you're doing it to the masses, I don't know. It's like maybe less weird because it feels like I'm just doing this for me. You could pull that. I'm saying you could kind of get away with it through the lens of like, this is my job and I make TikTok, so you got to be a little cringe, right?
Yeah.
But doing that like one-on-one to someone who you know intimately, like if you're seeing someone, is the most bizarre fucking thing because that is arguably what the sad part. This guy's being himself. He's like, I can be myself around her. What's up? Let's have a snuggle. Mondays suck. You Garfield? Shut the fuck up. Mondays suck. All right. So do Wednesdays.
I had a guy, no, he wasn't like handsome though, but he was exactly like this. And all he would do was he
You're
would
not talking
send
about me on the pod like I'm not right fucking here.
No, but he would send me photos of just his abs. So he had like, but he was tiny everywhere else. So he was like complete.
I'm sorry about this. I knew I shouldn't have said that. I knew you hated the ab pics. Fuck. Oh, damn it.
I was like so young as well at the time, and I was like, I don't know how to like turn this guy. Like, how do I say stop? And so I went to my mum and I was like, Mom, this guy won't stop sending me pictures of his abs and like doing workouts and stuff. And he did, you know, like when they like squint their eyes, they kind of make themselves look like they've got a cataract, like they're blind, and they're like, like he would take photos like that.
But it's honest. At the end of the day, that sucks, but it's on you because you did CrossFit.
That wasn't even from CrossFit days though.
This is pre-CrossFit.
No, I was working out. I was doing CrossFit, but it wasn't from CrossFit. It was a guy from my swimming.
But you attract, people have the knowledge like, oh, she's a CrossFit girl.
Yes.
Those guys think like, oh, she'll love this. She'll love my abs.
Yes.
Because people who do CrossFit.
Oh, the CrossFit ones were so much worse though.
Well, two things, insufferable and also like very body obsessed.
Vain, yeah, for sure. Like I remember going on a date with one of the CrossFit guys, and we were just like talking on the street, and then all of a sudden he just started doing pistol squats in the middle of the fucking road, which is like one-legged squats, and he was like, "Look at this," and I was like, "Okay, that you did do that on a busy street.
That is like
you did do that.
Big chin-ups at the park energy."
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you're walking past the playground, you see like a bar, and you're like, you see the monkey bars, you're like, I could fucking
Chin-ups on the train.
Yeah, chin-ups on the train.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nike
you've done that
tans.
before. Not on
Me?
the train, but on like when we've gone to a playground. To be fair, you were like, oh, I bet you couldn't do such and such pull-ups. And I was like, I fucking bet you couldn't do this many pull-ups.
Oh.
And then we were like, fuck you. And then we just did pull-ups.
That's a bit different because we're like by ourselves and I'm not like actually trying to impress you.
You weren't in public. There weren't kids playing next to you.
No,
you know?
we would have been like trying to resolve some weird bet of who was stronger because you used to say that you were stronger than me, which isn't not true.
No, I'm strong in the sense that like the only reason why I'm stronger in some things is because of technique. Like you couldn't do like some of the form, but you are absolutely stronger. My arms from this tour though, I'm fucking jacked, dude. Like they are massive.
We came back from the last tour leg race and Meg's in the bathroom.
And I'm
she
like,
just starts going, oi, check this shit out. Oi, check this shit out.
I was
She's like flexing her. And she goes, feel them. She's
Feel
like
my
making me feel her
biceps.
biceps. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're pretty good. She's like, no, you're not feeling them properly. Like, check it out. This shit is unreal.
Dude, it's crazy how fucking jacked they are.
Does Shannon ever get you to, does she ever flex her muscles to you?
No.
No. Yeah.
Well, lift some boxes and you'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What are these lumps on my arm? Luke, I think I've got leukemia. And I'm
been
like, oh, they're
slinging-
just my biceps.
She's been slinging t-shirts for 3 weeks on tour and thinks she's jacked now.
Bruh. You know what the funny
You
is?
have a t-shirt.
So we in Newcastle, we got rid of pretty much an entire van's worth of stock in 2 days. That's
Dude,
how
this
much
merch is
Newcastle.
moving.
Holy shit. We literally cannot get it in fast enough. So like mid-show, I was like to Mitch, we don't have any like jumpers left. I need more jumpers from the van. We need to get the last of it. But the issue was it was ages away. Like you had to go through the room that Luke was like performing in. Then you have to go like all the way down the corridor, all the way out the back. to
Some of
get
these
to, like, the
venues
van.
are like massive complexes. They're just like the van will be parked like 400 meters away from where we're selling the merch.
Yeah, exactly. So we take these giant boxes of jumpers out, and these things are massive. Like they're half of my body. So when you pick them up, you can't really see. You have to like turn your body and like go in that way. I get into your show. I like almost trip over myself. I throw the box on the ground, massive loud noise. Everyone's looking like, oh my God, I'm dead. My arms are fucked. But I was like, everyone's looking at me right now. I have to pick up the box. So by the amazing Jesus, thank you moment, I like pick these things up and I'm just dripping with like sweat, just drenched because I'm like, I can do it. Yeah. I can lift the boxes.
Well done, Meg.
So yeah, that's I'm now jacked.
And that concludes a 3-minute story of Meg talking about lifting a box.
I might put that on Patreon. Sorry. Yeah, it's a very hard one to
I think
follow.
people love your box story, Meg.
Oh, thank
They're
you.
like, Meg, talk about your boxing.
No, Meg, we want to hear more about your box.
Come on.
No. Maybe we get them a box. We give everyone a bit of Meg's box.
Yeah.
You too can have a piece of Meg's box.
Or like we put something in the box and then you get to smell Meg's box. Sorry. We're at an hour and 10 minutes and I'm talking about smelling Meg's box.
Okay.
You cannot have guys walk up to you and go, hey, Meg, love the pod. Would I be able to smell your box?
Yeah, and then I go, of course, sir. Everyone, and then I bring out a box. Everyone else in the line is like, what the fuck just happened?
I don't think that's a good ad for the pod. You know, we don't want to be getting our audience members cancelled on the way up to the merch desk. You know, thank you. We have to end the podcast now. Yes. It's about that bloody time, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're nearing the end. Good luck with your weekends, everybody. Please turn up.
Woo!
If you're in Adelaide, make sure you're in Radelaide this weekend. Forget about Adelaide, all right? Yeah. Get radical. I can't wait to see you on tour. The next month is pretty much all the Victorian shows.
Yep.
So if you live in Victoria, now's the time to get tickets. Bendigo have added a late show. Yep. And then Ballarat, we've also added one. Frankston, there's still tickets. Melbourne, one of the shows sold out. And there's like barely any tickets left.
Yeah, so you're going to have to, if you want to get into them, get in there fast. And we will see you there.
Epic.
Awesome.
And if you're alone and have no friends, definitely come to my show in Adelaide. There's single seats left. And I think Thursday night had tickets left, but this is coming out on Friday. Hey, don't worry about it. I already said that earlier. You missed it. I forgot.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, friends. Bye.
Bye.